Private Void.
Alright, we are starting a little game of Ira against Victor. I think it should be my favorite. I think Ira is better, but Victor sometimes they play really aggressive and they can get some really good on hit, like all the cards in. Here I'm gonna block with my whole hand, simply because there's two floating and it could be a pommel, so no reason to not block everything. Just gonna Kodachi. We don't have to go again yet to play the Crazy Brew, so I'm just gonna attack with everything else and put Life of the Party in Arsenal for the next turn when we have a better attack. So you can have some issue with Vigor because it prevents you from pitching and giving go again to your Kodachi. In this game it's really grateful that we got a Vigor. We can play our hand that has no blue. I'm just gonna block with everything. I cannot play this turn. I just use my chess piece and my tagger to make the Crazy Brew combo. Ideally you want to play this combo so that the Crazy Brew is buffed by Ara, so that it's a 7 power and it's actually harder for your opponent to block. And you're gonna see it, the Victor block only 6 and doesn't block the 7. I think it's a mistake on this side. They should totally block it with their shield, but maybe they just want to keep an extra block. And we just keep the pressure. Arsenal the Razor Reflex if we draw or snatch anything next turn. They don't have a card, so they're just gonna maybe pass turn, yeah. And we start with a little leg tap would go again. Here you cannot have go again on the Scar for a Scar. Unfortunately, we have too many life, but we can try to send our Razor Reflex on this, sound the alarm and maybe get extra damage and be able to send our Scar for a Scar. I don't think this game we ever gonna be under the life threshold of our opponent, so Scar for a Scar never gonna have go again. It's not worth keeping in Arsenal. Great hand, nothing to say. We block with what we cannot play and then we send everything else. They have a pommel, but it doesn't matter on their hammer, really. You're just happy that it was on the hammer and not something else. It's just... As always, we send the Bittering Torn as the second attack of the turn to get the buff on Ira, making it harder to block. They block with their shield on something that was not even a Hun hit, so it's totally useless. And here I'm keeping the looking for scrap just because I have a Vigor next turn, so in case I would have a blue and want to start with my Kodachi, instead I can always start with the looking for scrap and it doesn't break my hand ever. The hand is not great without the blue, so block with what we can and we're gonna send 2 cards then with draw on hit. It's a lot of pressure for someone at 6 HP and we didn't have to discard any card from their boulder drop. They block everything, we have the tempo, we're good to go. They do nothing from this turn. There's a rough hand. Something I'm making sure right now is to check if I have an additional leg tap or if I played everything. We have Rising Knee Thrust, which is one of the best blue combo that you can get. So I'm going to try to arsenal it for when I draw the leg tap later, because I do have one left in the deck. It's a good arsenal target late in the game. They skip their turn, not much on their side. We're just gonna try to push and do our best. I think it's useless send Soul Beat Strike simply because they're gonna block it, so I just try to send as much damage as possible and gonna keep the Soul Beat for next turn. And here's our leg tap, so you're gonna see the combo with the blue card. Totally worth it. Debilitate is useless against us. We can just send a Kodachi for 0 and everyone's happy. Well, leg tap was not in my original deck list, but it's in the one from Mikko that he shared, the updated version, and I prefer this version a lot. I've been playing this one a lot more. Just keep the pressure, not much, they don't have space to breed. Another hand without the blue, but it doesn't matter. They're at 2 HP. The gap is closing on them. Little Kodachi threatening lethal. Like, they clearly gonna have an attack with their armor, but we're still at 5 HP. It's no problem. Nothing of particular interest in their hand that we can see. Here there's a little small bug on Talishar. I would have blocked with 1 blue cards, but when I click and I pass priority, there's a little lag and it didn't happen, but I didn't undo just because I have the legacy of Akaru, and this card is gonna win us the game. It's a really good game ender, when people are at 2 HP, they think they're safe. You're gonna send a little attack for 1. They're like, oh, don't need to block, and oof, they died. Good game. Thanks for watching, guys. Make sure to like and subscribe. And if you want to read the guide, check on the Meta 5 page. Thank you.